Welcome back to the Dare to Dream podcast. This is Vincent Van Patten, and today is a solo episode. And I'm going to be talking about some of the big changes happening in my life right now, what I'm learning, and I hope it can inspire you as I fumble around in this journey and just keep on figuring it out as we go. That's what this podcast is all about. That is what me and Greg wanted to do when we started the Dare to Dream podcast, is not to show you what's like, being in our 40s and 50s, looking back on the early stages of our career, but what it's like in the midst of it, in the midst of making the decisions to do this, do that, quit our job, go for this, embark on this next chapter. Because I think that is more powerful than just looking back and not having the full picture and just saying, like, this is what I did, this is how I got here. It's a little more relatable to be, you know, to see somebody who's also in the same position that you are in, just trying to figure it out. And that's where we're at. But it inspires me knowing that that is the mission of this podcast, to make the decisions that, like, for instance, that I'm making today, and to really go for the things that are going to create an interesting story. Because as me and Greg got tattooed on our arms in Japan, me in Japanese, him in English, live a story worth telling. So kind of hope that's what separates us. We are the young guys who are right beside you, going for our dreams as well. And we want to show you what it's like when maybe we don't get the job that we were after, when we do have to pivot and try something new, when things aren't working out, when things haven't exactly gone our way. And for me, on this episode, I want to share just what I'm going through, as I feel like I'm kind of stepping into the next phase of my career as a writer and as a creator and just as a human being. So it's really exciting. Kind of what the big changes that are going on is, if you know about me and my journey, you know that I'm a writer, and I've been doing this since I graduated college. I studied journalism, and throughout college I was just writing news stories, and I definitely was not connecting to it. I by no means thought that I was going to be a journalist. I wanted to just get it done and move on. And that's what happened. When I graduated, I was looking for different opportunities, different jobs that I could do, and business was kind of the best place to start. Um, so I tried different things in different fields, but I just knew that that wasn't exactly, like, nothing was really fitting what I wanted to do. Nothing lit me up inside or even really interested me. Um, I tried interior design as an intern. I tried working at a clothing store, worked at a restaurant, and just kind of random stuff. Then worked in real estate for the longest period of a job that I had. And it was during that time when I really realized, well, it was actually through, I started blogging. I started blogging on medium.com about this kind of conundrum that I was in, of not knowing what I wanted to do with my life. And if that's not relatable, I don't know what is. That's what makes us human, is this constant questioning of, what am I supposed to do right now? What step am I supposed to take? How do I find meaning in what I'm doing and really create a life that matters to me and that I'm proud of? I wanted to find that thing, that career that really excited me and that I connected to. And I knew it was more of an artistic thing than really a business thing. Like, I've always loved just exploring the world and creating stuff that is beautiful and that takes time and people could connect to. And I started writing about finding my path and just not really knowing which steps to take. But I was also realizing how much I loved traveling. And it kind of happened in this beautiful serendipitous um, unfolding, I guess, where I was using writing to discover what I wanted to do with my life. But through that, I realized that writing is the thing that I want to do. And that's the first puzzle piece. Graduated college, I realized after trial and error and starting to blog that I want to be a writer. I want to, and specifically a travel writer. But since then, I've written about everything that I do in my life, my experiences. Dealing with chronic pain is a big one, but it was kind of focused on traveling and travel writing and just sharing stories about the world and about who we are as human beings and how we're different and just what I was finding out there. I just want to see the world. And I feel very fortunate that I have this passion for writing where I could have these experiences. And then I'm so eager to get back to my journal or the computer and write a story about it and just tell the tale as it is. And I love that. So I'm like, okay, I'm really connecting with writing. How how do I do this for a living? How do I make this my career? And I thought it wasn't going to be easy. I knew it wasn't going to be easy because it wasn't like I would just apply for a job and either get it or not. I actually kind of envied that. I wish I could just do that, but I'm like, there's this thing, kind of this North Star that I want to walk towards. I don't exactly know what it is, but it's getting paid to write. And that was 2017 was really when it all began when I graduated. And it's 2025 now, if my memory serves. I just got back from Japan. I'm back in Los Angeles after spending 2.5 years living in Japan. I was an English teacher and just writing about my experiences and what have you. Um, so okay, so I had the first kind of realization that this is what I want to do: travel and write about what I experience. But years went on, and I just kept, I guess it scared me that I didn't know exactly what I wanted precisely or how I was going to get there. It was kind of just this vague idea of like become a travel writer. But the more I thought about that and kind of put that label on it, the more I realized I don't want to be like other travel writers who are writing about like the 10 best things to do in Paris or, you know, best coffee shops in Lisbon or whatever. I wanted to tell these kind of personal memoir style tales and of just me existing in a place, me having experiences and writing about that and sharing those stories. So I kind of told myself that isn't really something you can get paid for, which is, of course, a self limiting belief, which feeds into the lesson that I'm going to share as kind of this new insight that I'm having right now. Um, I kind of ruled myself out like, no, I don't want to be a travel writer who's just getting paid to write stories that I don't care about. I want to write what I want to write about and somehow get paid for that. But kind of the more I toyed with that idea, the more improbable it seemed. And I did actually pitch, I applied to kind of these different writing jobs, like to be an ambassador at a certain magazine or to do this and that, and never really gained any traction. And I just kept writing on Medium, which is a blogging platform. And I haven't stopped writing there. I kind of just told myself this is a very unique thing that I'm going for. And it's probably going to take a long time. And I'm going to have to have day jobs as I pursue that thing because it's going to be hard to actually make money just from telling my own personal stories. A self-limiting belief that that is definitely part of the lesson here is that I'm working to squash that belief that I can't get paid to write about what I want to write about. So years go by, I'm doing different things. I go and live in Europe for a summer and I just published my second book, which is about that story. Go check it out. When the Sky Opens and the Answers Shimmer. And that link is going to be in the show notes. Very excited about that book. It is about my 2 months working at a hostel in Lisbon, Portugal, and then spending 3 weeks on a farm in Calabria, Italy. And it's my second book that I self-published on Amazon. I wrote it throughout the entirety of my time in Japan. So it took 2.5 years while working as an English teacher by day and writing at night. And I'm so proud of that book. It meant so much to me just to do exactly what I am talking about, which is have an experience and tell the story. And I've told myself, like, okay, maybe I will just write these books about these grand experiences that I'm having. And that is how I'll make money one day. It's going to take a long time and I'm going to have jobs as I pursue that. But the books will be the kind of the end goal. That is the thing I will focus on. I can have these amazing experiences. Like I'll write my third book about Japan. That is the plan. A man in Japan with a plan. And I will tell another deep story. And I kind of just surrendered to that, but it was almost as if I gave into the resistance that I can only get paid to write these books. I can't actually sustain myself in that process. And then just hoping that one day things will just kind of hit. And I definitely don't fault myself for this. It's a lot what I'm trying to do here. And each day I'm putting different puzzle pieces together and having different insights and just staying on this path that I don't think I'm never gonna get off the path completely. It's gonna meander. I'm gonna take some steps here, go there, come back, fall forward, the whole shebang. But this, whatever it is I'm doing, this creative path, this is my path and I'm dedicated to it. And it is exciting to try to be figuring it out, you know? I have a North Star and I'm just trying to figure out how to get there. That is what that's what the show is all about. Because that's the joy. That's where it all comes from. The process. You know, you see the energy that I have just talking about this. The joy isn't getting into this thing that we think will make us happy. It's figuring it out as we go. As a very wise man says, you gain incremental wisdom as you implement your flawed plan. You just keep moving forward. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I published my second book, When the Sky Opens and the Answers Shimmer, and check it out. It's on Amazon, Vincent Russell Van Patten, but find it in the show notes. Anywho, I thought that was kind of going to be the thing that I did, but I've since had this. So here's the insight. Drop, drum roll, as they say. Talked to Greg about it. I'm ready to make money. Of course I am. I'm willing to put in the work to make money blogging and doing and writing what I love, writing about what I love, and doing what I'm doing now without the fear. So, all right, I'm overcomplicating it. What I want to do is get paid to write about my experiences and the things that I love. Basically, what I'm doing now, but going pro at it instead of kind of being in the position that I've been in for years, which is everything's free. You can find all my blog posts on my website and on Medium. Maybe I'll get paid for it, and I get paid on Medium, but I'm not, it's not paying my bills. It's not my primary salary, or, I'm not making a living off of it. I'm ready to do the work to make a living off of it and to be putting all my effort into a newsletter and to writing on different platforms and really taking this thing to the next level and stepping into the next phase of my career as a writer. And the reason why I've had this insight and why it all came to be is last week I posted about my chronic pain. And if you follow the podcast or my writing or anything, you probably know that I've been in chronic pain throughout my 20s. For the last 7 years of my life, I started when I was 21. I've had chronic back pain. And 9 months ago, everything changed. I realized through this kind of crazy sequence of events, meeting one person who led me to the next thing, that the pain that I feel in my body is not physical. It has to do with emotions, has to do with just my personality type. It's called TMS, the mind body syndrome, which was actually originally called tension myositis syndrome by Dr. John Sarno, who's kind of the pioneer of mind body healing. And I realized that it's nothing physically wrong with my body. It's really my nervous system that needs healing. So basically, I'm actually healing. It's incredible. I'm on this new journey, which I've called my spiritual odyssey, which has been almost 10 months. Started when I was in Tokyo, of rewiring my brain to unlearn the pain. And it's actually working. You do this by creating safety in your nervous system. So every time I feel the pain sensations, instead of, succumbing to the fear and just getting worried about it and going down that mental spiral, I create a place of peace and safety in my body. And that tells the brain that, oh, wow, he's actually okay. We don't need to create these sensations to protect him, because pain is a safety mechanism. It wants to protect us. But when you have chronic pain, it's actually a malfunction in the brain. It's like a fire alarm that's going off without a real fire, because it's trying to protect you. So I'm unlearning the pain, and I've been writing about that for a long time. Before a year ago, before the spiritual odyssey, I was just writing about how difficult it was to handle this and not having answers and putting my faith into a higher power, because I just couldn't find a way out. And, I'm so grateful that I found the world of mind body healing, and I'm on this path. It has completely changed my life, but also it has been my life. I got the pain for a reason, and that is to heal and overcome it, but also to help people and to share my message and everything that I've learned on this unbelievable journey. I shared about it last week, just pretty much a synopsis of everything that I've gone through, but what I'm learning specifically with the mind body stuff. And several people reached out, just kind of commenting on it. And one person asked if they could talk to me about the chronic pain and my story and stuff. And what I realized is that I do have a lot of information and experience to share, and it would make me so happy to actually do it. And I have been talking to some people about it, but it kind of just hit me as the same time where I had the insight about this writing journey that I want to take to the next level. This could be part of my career, is helping people handle chronic pain. And I do want to have sessions that kind of coach people through it as I'm going through it and as I'm healing. Obviously I'm not a doctor, I'm not an actual therapist, but I think my time is worthwhile and important, and gonna start charging people to, if they want to do a consultation with me for an hour. And you'll be able to find that on my website, or just reach out, and I would love to help in any way I can with your chronic pain, because it is definitely not forever, and I'm right there with you. We are healing. So I say that because it showed me, wow, people do care what you have to say. This is what you're meant to do, but you're not taking yourself seriously by giving it all away for free. To charge people and to say, this is my living, this is what I'm doing, this is what I love, that shows them that you're dedicated to it. And I know that. So that's with the chronic pain side. And then with the writing stuff, I realizing that I want to have a paid newsletter, where I've been doing a newsletter for probably 5 years, and it's always been free. But I've reached a point where I'm like, I got to start charging this, $5 to $20 or whatever, just for a paid subscription, on Substack. Because if I just treat this as like a job, this is my job. I will give it everything I have. And I love to do this already, but it takes a long time to write this article every week and then to put the newsletter together, do this podcast and everything. It takes all my time. And I love it, but I want this to be my career. I want this to be my job. And I know that by asking people for donations or just a subscription, that I'll love it that much more. And I so I had that kind of chronic pain insight where like, wow, people are interested in what I have to say and they want to talk to me about it. And people are just other people were just saying like how much I've inspired them on this journey and stuff. I'm just damn, like you gotta give yourself credit. It's a mentality thing. Every time I would see an article, so then going back to the writing, that would be like, this is how to make writing. This is how you make money, writing online and stuff. I would just get so annoyed and I would just say, no, that's not what I want to do. I'm trying to do something different because I was afraid. I was annoyed and frustrated and angry that I wasn't figuring it out yet, that I haven't put in the necessary work or just been able to figure out how to make money from doing this thing that I give so much time and attention to and freaking tears and love. It's pissed me off that other people who are writing shit maybe are getting paid for it. And then I'm like writing this really meaningful stuff and not. And of course, that's, you know, that's neither here nor there, but feeling like you deserve something. I've gained so much beyond money through this process, but I'm just like, yeah, I do wish I could just do this and be making my living off of it. But I saw an article last week and it came at the same time as I had the like chronic pain insight, which makes you believe it's all like happening for a reason. Where I saw an article, it's like, this is where you should be writing in 2025. And you know what? I'm not gonna entertain that same outlook that I usually have of like, fuck this, I don't want to read it. It's just clickbait because I know that's coming from a place of insecurity. I'm just gonna read it with curiosity and interest and actually see what it's saying. And it did seem like just an article that, was trying to help people and it helped me a lot, inspired me a lot, and made me think, okay, yeah, it is time. It is time to take things to the next level and make this my freaking career. Like the blogging and the weekly posts and everything. And wanted to just talk about like why it took so long or just why I felt the resistance. And part of it is just because I didn't feel worthy of being a writer who gets paid to write. I tell myself like this my own story is that I studied journalism, but like I was never really a writer. I did get my master's in creative writing and gotta give myself some credit for that because, I actually had a coaching session with Greg yesterday, co-hosted this podcast, my first one, paid the man because valuable time and I wanted his full coaching perspective. I was finally ready to step into this next phase. So got a coaching session with him and it was amazing just to have somebody help me map out this kind of new phase that I want to step into. And when I would say this, like I just, these self-limiting beliefs, like I'm not a real writer. I didn't think that I deserve or that people would be willing to pay me just for my newsletter. Like, no, I guess that's for other people, but not me. Or I don't have the skills or the knowledge to be able to figure that out and do that. And he's like, no, let's stop you right there. I don't think many of these people who are getting paid to write have a master's in writing. And like, where does that come from that you think that you're not skilled enough or I thought about it. I'm just like, yeah, where the hell does that come from? I just thought that I told myself that I have maybe the heart behind the writing, but I don't have the actual skill to get paid to like write a professional article or something yet. I've written 2 books and like 700 articles online. It's crazy. It's self-limiting beliefs. And he challenged that. And that is definitely something that I'm working on now is squashing that belief. I fucking deserve to be getting paid for doing what I love to do. And I'm dedicated to this craft. And I do love it. And so he helped me kind of just change that belief and be like, yes, I am one of those people who will be the success story online, who's making money from the newsletter. And the thing is, I'm not like gonna be making millions in my first month of this thing, but the first step is to make my newsletter paid. I'll still offer a free version, I think, just not the full story. But there'll be a handful of people who will be willing to pay. That's it. Like that's the beginning. It's starting when you don't think you're ready, even though it's been a long time in the making. It's just going, just starting, taking that first step, even when you feel like a fraud, classic imposter syndrome. Who am I to do this? Nobody's going to pay me for this. I don't deserve it. These are all just in self limiting beliefs that just hold us back for our entire lives. We do deserve to do the things that we know we are capable of. And that this obviously has been something that I've been thinking about for my entire writing career. I've been wanting to get paid just to write about what I want to write about. And to do that, all I gotta do is ask people to pay me. And that's by creating a paid newsletter. Just start there. If they don't want to, they don't have to, but there will be people who want to sign up. And that's all that matters, 1,000 true fans. That'd be amazing. So just getting over that belief that I am not somebody who's in that, it's for other people to get paid for doing what they love. I have to find a day job and write on the side. It's like, no, this is it. This is what I want. And I'm declaring that, I'm putting it out into the universe, and I'm ready to do the necessary work to get there. And that's really exciting. The point isn't just to get to the finish line and like, oh, finally I'm doing the thing. As I was saying earlier, the point is the adventure along the way of figuring out how to get to that point. That's the whole game. You get to the finish line and the game is over. You've made it. And there's just another goalpost. But the enjoyment of life, what life actually consists of, is the process of getting to these places that we want to go, of inching our way to the goalpost, of implementing our flawed plan and gaining incremental wisdom along the way, of moving forward and getting excited about something and taking action. That is the most important thing, taking action on our ideas and seeing them through. So I'm really trying to change my mindset that I'm not someone who's analytical and that I'm just kind of the heart side of it. I want to get serious about this and actually break down what I got to do, look at the numbers and dedicate the rest of my life to it. But like set goals, like small goals of like, make $50 a month. That'll be my first goal. $50 a month. Start small, but start somewhere and then just begin. Do the thing. And it'll take you places. It is very exciting, let me tell you. To actually put in action this dream that I've had for so long. So grateful that I could share this journey as I'm embarking upon it. And this is an accountability thing. Like it's out in the open now. If you hear this and you don't get a paid newsletter subscription thing from me, I plan to start it next week. So the next week and a half, hit me up. All right. Because I've got leaving tomorrow for a trip. That's why I'm not starting right now. And I got some other stuff I got to finish off. Anyways, next week, I'm hitting the ground running with that. And I'm very excited about it. So, what Greg told me is a very important thing in the coaching session is all it is, the biggest difference between me and the people who are getting paid to do what they love is mindset. They believe that they are worth whatever they're getting paid. And right now, I think my work is worth nothing in that it's free, besides the books. I've been blogging for free for a long time and I'm ready to shake things up. I'm ready to do it differently. That does not mean I'm ready to challenge the notion that getting paid for doing the thing you love takes the joy out of it. Let's find out. Let's find out, baby. I want to get paid to do what I love. All right. Challenge. What are the beliefs that you got that are holding you back? What doubt is there still that lingers and preventing you from taking a step in a new direction, making a change? What's holding you back? It's a beautiful game that we're living here, isn't it? It's exciting to go for to try to solve interesting problems and try to get the best out of ourselves and try to just figure things out. It's like a puzzle, trying to crack the code. Okay, I think that's it for me, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this journey. We love you. It's so much fun doing this, and we're not going to stop. Much, much love. Peace.